Hello, beautiful people. Hope everybody had a great week of Thanksgiving. I have a lot to be grateful for, and I know many of you do too. I'm extremely blessed, and Thanksgiving gives me a day especially set aside for reminding myself to be grateful for all the things that I'm blessed with, and all the people around me, and the amazing things that have happened in my life. So I'm extremely grateful, and I know many of you are too. So hopefully you spent some time on Thanksgiving reflecting on that while you were spending time with friends and family and eating and football and all that stuff. So a lot to be thankful for, a lot to be grateful for. And I know, like I said, I know lots of you are too. Um, so what I want to talk about this week is New Year's resolutions and the holidays, things like that. I never entirely understood New Year's resolutions, and that's not to say that I haven't had one or had many or whatever the case is. Typically, the end of the year flies by for me like it does with most people, and I don't really do a New Year's resolution. But like I said, I don't have like a exact memory of doing one, but I'm sure I have. Um, but yeah, I never entirely understood New Year's resolutions. People always come out of the gate on January 1st, and especially with social media now, social media is the big deal where people come out and new year, new me. I'm gonna quit smoking. I'm gonna quit drinking. I'm gonna start working out. I'm gonna start this project. I'm gonna start this business. People set aside January 1st as this new year, new venture, new me type thing. And I never really understood that. It doesn't make any sense to me. There's 365 days in the year, and January 1st is no better day than any other day of the year. And if it's a good idea to do it on January 1st, it's probably a good idea to do it now. What are you waiting on? Why do you have to wait for that calendar to switch from one year to the next or one month to the next? It just doesn't make any logical sense. I can tell you for sure, you're not going to wake up with any extra motivation on January 1st. You're not going to wake up and be excited to do the hard thing that you've been putting off for however long anyway. Or you're not going to wake up with any more willpower on January 1st to stop drinking or stop smoking or whatever the case is. Like, January 1st is not a special day. There's no, power that comes to you on that day that makes whatever you're trying to do any easier. And chances are, whatever you're setting yourself up for on January 1st is something that's difficult or something that's hard, particularly for you. Otherwise, this wouldn't be your resolution. You wouldn't pick something that you're already doing. You wouldn't pick something that is easy or simple or something. You wouldn't try to stop something that didn't bother you in your life, or you wouldn't try to start doing something like working out if you weren't dissatisfied with, whatever shape you were in or your size or your diet or whatever the case is. So if you're already dissatisfied with these things or you want to make something better, you want to fix something, like, why is January 1st like the day? Like I said, there's 365 days in the year. January 1st isn't better or worse than any of them. So if it's such a great idea, do it now. Like, you don't have to wait. You don't have to try to mentally psych yourself up for that day and to think that you're just going to wake up that day and whatever your thing is just going to be easy. It's just going to come to you. Like, oh, I've smoked for 20 years. I'm just going to stop smoking on January 1st and it's going to be all good because I'm motivated. I'm saving up all my willpower for January 1st and it's just going to be easier that day. And that's just another reason why the failure rate on New Year's resolutions is so high, is because we're not prepared. We're not ready. We don't know what we're doing. We just decide in our mind, oh, we're just going to stop doing something on January 1st, or we're going to start doing something on January 1st. Not prepared, just not mentally with it. We just think that when you shift the calendar from one day or 1 month or 1 year to the next, that all of a sudden it's just going to be easy or simple, or it's just going to come to us. And it just doesn't work that way. Like I started smoking really young, probably, way too young, but we're talking like 11, 12 years old. Like, me and my buddies would like steal cigarettes from our parents and smoke or whatever. But I did this same thing in my head. I don't think it was a New Year's resolution. Like, I think I had a birthday coming up or something. And like, my birthday was coming up and I had tried to quit smoking or had quit smoking on and off, for how many every years. But my 30th birthday was coming up, and I told myself, I'm going to quit smoking on my 30th birthday. And like a week before my birthday, like as it's drawing near, like a week before, like I'm just going through this mental, like these mental gymnastics of like, what's the purpose of me waiting another week or 8 days or 10 days or 5 days, whatever it was at the time. What's the purpose of me waiting this extra couple of days? Like, I've smoked for 20 years now or whatever the case was. What are these other 5 or 6 days going to do for me? So I just decided to stop sooner. So I stopped a couple of days before my 30th birthday. Again, that's not any sort of big achievement, but it was just like these mental gymnastics I had to put myself through to try to convince myself that my birthday was a better day than September 20th or whatever the day actually was. And that's just crazy. And that's what we put ourselves through with these New Year's resolutions. Oh yeah, I'm going to do this workout routine starting January 1st. I'm going to do this diet starting January 1st. I'm going to quit smoking. I'm going to quit drinking. I'm going to quit smoking weed. I'm going to quit doing coke, or whatever the problem you're having or whatever it is you're trying to fix. Or I'm going to stop going to the bar. I'm going to spend more time with my family. I'm going to start that business. There's a million different things. A million. There's, as many people as there are in the world. I'm going to do X, Y, and Z on such and such day out in the future. And really, you're just procrastinating. That's really all it is. You're doing this mental gymnastics of, putting it off. That's really all it is. It's deep down, this is a thing that you need to do or need to stop doing or whatever the case is. And you're just using another excuse, another mechanism to push it off even further in the future for fear or anxiety or stress or whatever the case is. Whatever your excuse is, you're just pushing it off into the future. And then when it does come around and you do start this thing on January 1st, and whenever you do fail because the failure rate is so high, you're just going to, again, do these mental gymnastics and try to explain away why it's so hard or why it's so difficult. Or, I should have tried to quit cold turkey, so I'm going to go smoke a couple pack. I'm going to smoke a couple a day. Or, I can't stop drinking cold turkey, so I'm only going to drink on weekends. Or you're just going to go through it again. You're just going to do the thing again. Or with a workout routine, I'm going to go to the gym every day. Oh, then you don't go this day, and then you don't go the next day, and then you don't go the next day. And then you start giving yourself all these excuses and all these reasons. Oh, yeah, well, I had this going on, or I was busy, or I didn't have time, or, whatever the case is. You're going to find the excuse. And I'm just telling you that New Year's resolutions is just the excuse to push that thing further away in the calendar so you don't have to do it today. So you don't have to do it now, because that's the reality of it. If it was going to get done, if you were going to do it, you would do it now. You wouldn't wait another 25 days from today. Why is 25 days from today a better day to start a business? It's not. Why is 25 days from today a better day to stop drinking or stop smoking or stop going to the bar or whatever your thing is, whatever your deal is? Why is 25 days further down the road better than doing it today? It's not. It's just not, So never been a big fan of New Year's resolutions. I just don't understand it. I don't get the point. I get it. A lot of times it's superstition or whatever, hocus pocus, whatever. But I'm just telling you, do it today. There's 365 days a year. And if you're really committed to this, if you're really going to make a change, if you're really going to make a difference, doing it today gives you a 25-day head start. And that kind of gets me into my next little point here. I never understood. I also never understood why people sort of mentally or subconsciously just write off the last 2 months of the year to do anything or to accomplish anything. People just act as soon as Halloween's over, and maybe even before Halloween, but as soon as Halloween's over, everybody's in this holiday, Thanksgiving, Christmas mindset, and nothing else matters. Nothing else matters. Nothing else is going to get done. There's no, whether it comes to, there's so many different examples, but contractors, medical appointments, insurance, there's all this stuff that you could try to get done. And pretty much everybody's just got their feet up and they're just going to coast to the end of the year, And me and my friends used to make fun of this expression, and we still do. But, we always hear people say, oh, with the holidays and all. Oh, with the holidays and all. What does that mean? It's 2 days. It's 2 days out of 60 days. And everybody just lays up. They just put their feet up and they coast to the end of the year for 2 days. Oh, with the holidays and all. You count how many times between now and the end of the year you hear people say, with the holidays and all. It's crazy. And people they just give up. They just give up the rest of the year. You give up 2 months of the whole year. Like I'm saying about there's 365 days a year and January 1st is no more important than any of the rest of them. If there's 12 months in the year and you just mail it in for 2 whole months out of the year, 2 whole months out of the year, and maybe I have this mindset because I'm self-employed and I can't mail it in for 2 months of the year. I can't quit and just give up for 2 months out of the year. Oh, well, Thanksgiving's here and I'm busy and I got plans and I got to be over here and I got to do this and Christmas is coming and I got to do this and I got to shop and I got to buy and I got to I got to go and I got this party and I got this. So yeah, they're just not going to get any work done for the next 2 months. My competition hopes I do something that's stupid. Like my competition's hoping I'm that lazy or that ignorant that I just take 2 months off out of the year. Because while they're over there grinding and getting after it and beg, borrow, and stealing business and customers or whatever the case is, whatever it is they do to make their business run, like they can't wait to watch me bleed out. And if they'd be happy if I cut my own throat by taking 2 months a year off. So you need to look at it like you're in a fight and you cannot take 2 months of the year off. And your competition might be taking 2 months off, but you can't. Like how much of a head start can you get on your competition if they're taking 2 months off? Like if they're taking 2 months off and you continue to work that 2 months, you've got a 2-month head start on whatever it is you're trying to accomplish, whatever it is you're trying to do. Again, it could be a personal goal. You could quit smoking or whatever the case is, but you could have a personal goal. Hey, I'm going to start a business. Hey, I'm going to buy some real estate. Hey, I'm going to start investing. Hey, I'm going to start reading a book. Like if you decided on January 1st, I'm going to, read 2 books a month. And again, if you didn't mail it in and just quit as soon as November 1st struck, you could read 2 books in November and read 2 books in December. You're 4 books ahead of the next guy. You're 4 books ahead of the competition. You're 4 books fewer behind on where you should have been 5 years ago, 8 years ago, 10 years ago. Like you're using this arbitrary calendar, number, days, holidays to trick your mind into an excuse of why you're not doing the thing that you need to be doing. Like you need to be doing this. You need to be reading. You need to be writing. You need to be in therapy. You need to be having the difficult conversation with your spouse or difficult conversation with your kid or doing more with your business or whatever your thing is, whatever's going on with you. Like you need to be doing this, and you're just using this 2-month smoke screen for like the holidays and all. Oh yeah, I had a little too much to drink because the holidays and all. Oh yeah, family was in town, so we went out and partied with the holidays and all. Like it's just like you're fooling yourself. And again, your competition's out there trying to kick your ass anyway, but you've got this sort of dual thing happening in your head anyway, and you're letting one side win. You're letting the bad side win when the good side should be winning. So you're letting the good side sit and idle for 2 months, and you're letting the bad side take over for 2 months. Like you got almost no chance of winning this year or next year when you take 2 months off. Like momentum is so hard to get doing anything, whether it's a workout plan, a diet plan, spending time with your family or whatever the case is. Momentum is so difficult to get, So when you start coasting at the end of October and you just literally lay it down for November and December, you think you can just turn it back on in January? Like you can't. It's impossible to get that momentum back. It's impossible to get those customers back. It's impossible to just turn it on. It's not like a light switch where you just turn it on. So then you got to slowly start ramping things up back in January. And it's like, it's like when you have let's say you take a week vacation, you kind of have that vacation hangover. Well, even before you go on vacation, that last little day or two before you go on vacation, those last 3 days, you're not really putting in 100%. Same thing goes for those 2 months if you mail it in. Half of October goes to waste at least. Half of January goes to waste at least. Now you're talking 3 months. That's 25% of the year. Like whoever it is you're trying to beat, whether it's a business down the street or you're trying to beat yourself, you're trying to overcome yourself, because for me, that's what it is. Like I have to overcome myself. My biggest challenge in the world is me. Like I can't take 3 months off of trying to figure this out. I can't take 3 months off of trying to stay on top of this mess. I can't just mail it in for 3 months. I got to stay on top of this 365 days a year. I can't give up on trying to figure out how to make this better. Like 3 months, 25, you want to give up 25% of the year? It's impossible. It's an automatic fail. It's an automatic fail because all you're basically doing is putting yourself in a situation where the other 75% of the year, you have to win every day. You have to win every single day, the other 3/4 of the year. And how is that even possible? How can you win at that ratio? Because right now, if you give up 25% of the year, your best success rate could possibly be 75%. And that's if you bat 1,000 the rest of the year. How? You can't, it's not physically possible. I mean, believe me, I've tried to bat 1,000 for 3/4 of the year. You can't do it. Can't be done. So all this whole, I'm going to do it next month, I'm going to do it January 1st. Oh, I'm going to take it easy for the rest of the year and all this stuff. Like all those people, and again, I'm not trying to, pat myself on the back or whatever, give myself an ego trip, but I'm going to kick every single one of those people's asses. I'm just going to, because I'm not going to stop. I'm not going to slow down. I'm not going to give up. I'm not going to quit halfway through October because it's the end of the year. Like some people are like, oh, it's almost 2025. Like, hell no, it's already 2025. Like it's 2025 to me right now. Like that's where I'm at. It's already 2025. Like I'm not waiting for it to get here. Like I'm already like figuring out how this last 4 weeks of the year is going to go, because I'm ready to launch further and do more in 2025. And I'm not going to wait to January 1st to figure it out. I'm going to have momentum when it gets there. I'm not going to try to pick myself up and get started from scratch on January 1st. Like, okay, it's January 1st. It's time for me to restart my life that I stopped, 2.5 months ago. Try to restart or start this whole new thing. Like, oh, it's a new me. Like, I got to start my whole thing from scratch today. Like, not doing it. So I'm not doing it. So I know it frustrates people that I don't spend as much time as I probably should with family around the holidays. And I don't, take a bunch of time off to go celebrate these holidays. I know that frustrates people, but I'm not in a mental space where I'm just going to mail in 2 months of the year and just give up and quit and just say, I'll get started on it later. I'll get started on it next month. Like, I don't have that in me. Like, I'm going to go 10 times harder these 2 months because I know it's like the tortoise and the hare. Like, while the hare's over there asleep, the tortoise is still at work. Like, they may be smarter than me. They may be better than me. They may be faster than me. They may have more money than me. They may have more, banking support. They may have more connections. They may have all of that stuff. But if they're not moving at all, I'm slowly going to catch them. I'm slowly going to pass them because I'm not going to stop. I'm going to keep going. And whether it's perseverance or, I'm not particularly intelligent. I'm not particularly smart. I don't do anything exceptional, but I don't stop. I don't quit. And even if I'm, sometimes I'm running, and if I'm not running, I'm walking. And if I'm not walking, I'm crawling. And if I'm not crawling, I'm not quitting. Like I may stop, but I'm not quitting. I'm not giving up. I'm figuring out how to get moving again. So if I come to a complete stop for whatever reason, it ain't going to be for 2 months. It ain't going to be for 3 months. It ain't going to be any of that. If I come to a complete stop, it's going to be because I have to. And then while I'm at a complete stop, I'm figuring out how to get crawling again. So I can figure out how to walk again. So I can figure out how to run again. But I promise you, taking 3 months off out of the year, 25% of the year, laying up because it's the holidays and all, is not in my program. Like, I don't know how to do that. I don't know what that means. So I'm just rambling at this point, but that's how I feel about New Year's resolutions and the end of the year and these holidays. Like, hey, I'm all for people spending time with their friends, spending time with their family, being in the giving spirit and thinking about other people and caring about other people. I'm all for that. I'm also all for paying very close attention to the mission that you're on and not giving up on the mission for silly luxuries that are temporary. So I'm not going to give up a long-term potential goal over something that's, to me, arbitrary and, it's just a thing. It's just, again, I'm not saying I don't want to spend time with people and spend, quality time with friends and family and think about the year and reminisce about what's been going on in all that case. But I'm not going to dedicate 3 months to it. It's not worth it to me. That's not a good balance of time and a good use of resources. Like, I can't spend 3 months of the year just chilling with everybody else that's just chilling, because I promise you the people that are chilling are just not doing what I'm doing or going where I'm going. So I can't do what they're doing because I don't want to go where they're going. And that's how I look at it. So when I hear people say it's the holidays and all, or I don't get emails back from somebody, or they don't respond, if it's an insurance person or this person or a tax person or whatever, I get an automated response. Oh, we're out of the office for these 10 days around this time. I'm like, it's the holidays and all. Like, I got to get this tax question answered. And if you're at an office, like somebody's going to answer it. I'll find the person that's still working. That's what I'll do. I have to. So I know I'm just rambling and just going on, like, but I'm pretty sure y'all get the point. Like, I'm not quitting or giving up for 25% of the year, because I know I can't bat 1,000 for the other 75%. I know there's going to be bad days, there's going to be bad weeks, there's going to be bad months. The economy, the competition, the market, there's too many other factors for me to just put it on cruise control for 2 or 3 months out of the year. It just can't happen. It can't happen. And I'm saying that knowing myself, because like I said, there's probably people that out there that are way smarter, way more intelligent, way more talented, way more gifted, that just know more than I do. So they're probably so far ahead of me that they can put it on cruise control for a month or two. I'm just not one of those people. Like, I have to live this way because I'm not that smart, that gifted, that talented, or whatever the case is. Like, I'm not that. So I have to use what I have, and that is to just go, to just keep going, to just keep moving forward and not take 25% of the year off and then hope I can bat 1,000 the other 9 months out of the year. Because I know I can't. I know my fail rate. I know how many mistakes I make. I know how often I make them. I know how expensive they are. I know how painful they are. And I can't afford to take 25% of the year off, you know? And anything that like I said, anything that I think is a good idea for January 1st, like, I'm already going to do it now. Like, I'm going to do it now. Like, I'm not going to wait till January 1st to be like, hey, you know what? I think I'm going to start this new policy or this new program. January 1st seems like an awesome day to start that. Today is just as good a day as January 1st. These calendar days, these calendar numbers, they're not meaningful. They're just days and numbers so we can keep track of stuff. Like, you don't need to wait until January 1st to make something happen in your life, to make a positive change in your life, to quit something that you know you need to quit, or whatever the case is. Like, January 1st is like the most useless day. It's no more useful than the other 364 days. So do whatever you got to do. Do it whenever you got to do it. But just do it. Like, don't wait. Don't wait. I don't understand that. I don't understand that thinking. So again, I'm sure there's probably some, history guru out there is going to tell me like what New Year's resolutions, how they started, where they came from, yada, 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 yada. Again, I don't care. I don't care. Every day could be a New Year's resolution. Today, tomorrow, yesterday, whatever the case is, you could just get going and call it your New Year's resolution. Hey, I got started on my New Year's resolution early. What's wrong with that? What is wrong with that? Anyway, I'm going to jump off here. I'm looking at my board from last year. I'm pretty sure I've told you all this, but I keep a dry erase board here. And the month of December, I sort of reflect on the things that I wrote on it last year. So every December I sit down and I sort of lay out the things that I expect of myself the following year. And I do that for the entire month of December. So I don't really call it goal setting or whatever that case is. Like I said, these are things that I expect from myself. So these aren't goals, these aren't wishes, these aren't dreams. Like, these are things that I expect from myself. And I actually have it written at the top. It's called mission control. Like, this is a mission. This is not a game. This is not hopeful. This is not fantasy. This is not imaginary, like, pasting pictures to the wall and hoping money falls from the sky into my back pocket. Like, this is mission control. These are things that I intend to do. These are things that I intend to make happen. And I'm looking at my board for this year, and I'm telling you, it's not good. Not good. I'll say 30% of what's up there was either progress was made, something was completed, a lot was completed, a little was completed, any kind of progress, any kind of motion, any kind of movement, maybe 30%. And that might even be a high number, because these are the expectations I have for myself. Like, my expectations are so high that when I write out over this entire dry erase board, I'll be lucky if I get, like I said, maybe 30%. And I don't even think it's that. The more I look at it, the more stuff I see that I missed. And I'm like, Nope, didn't do that. Nope, didn't do that. Nope, didn't do that. So maybe not even 30%. That's how high my failure rate is. My failure rate on things that I expect for myself is so high that I can't, if I would have taken 2 or 3 months off, then that 25 or 30% or whatever would have been 10%, maybe. So ashamed of myself this year of what I didn't do and things that I promised myself. So I got a lot more work to do, but I spend the entire month of December looking at this board, and I start taking notes on what I need to do differently, what I need to change, what was a success, what was a failure, why it was a failure. And other than I know it's me. So I'm not saying, oh, well, I got to go look for an excuse as to why it was a failure. Like, no, I don't write down anything that I'm not capable of, just to make that clear. Like I said, I don't write down pipe dreams. I write down physical action steps, things, responsibilities, things that need to be and can be done. And I failed at most of those this year. And a lot of them I didn't even start. I didn't even take on. So this month of December, I'm going to be hard on myself because I had such a bad year. At least in this aspect, I had a great year in a lot of other areas. There are things on here again, and of those 30% of things that are on here, 5% of them like knocked them clean out of the park, like knocked them smooth out of the park. I had one here that was like a 10-year goal, and of that 10-year goal, I probably got, over 50% of that goal achieved in 1 year. So that one particular goal far exceeded my expectations. But that doesn't make up for all the other things that I didn't do. Like I would have taken, slightly above average success in that one little area and redistributed my time to those other things that I didn't do at all, if that makes any sense. So this is my month of December, because while other people are out, ring-a-jingling, jingle bells, ring-a-ding-ding-ding-dong or whatever, like what other people are out, watching Hallmark movies. And I live in Texas. It doesn't snow here very much, but while everybody is in Texas is like, praying for snow and waiting for the holidays and waiting for Santa and, out blowing money on pointless things that people are going to forget about by January 1st. Like, I'm like hyper focused on why did I suck so bad this year at these things, and why did these things go so well? And if these things did go so well, how can I capitalize on that again this year while also doing these other things? And then I got to find new things for the things that need to get marked off. Okay. So I'm not taking this month off. I'm not taking it off. I know some people are. I know it's the holidays and all, but not doing it. Not doing it. I'm going to find ways to keep chipping away at these things that matter to me. And I'm not going to use Thanksgiving. I'm not going to use 2 days out of a whole year to ruin 3 months of my life. Just not going to do it. That's not a wise investment on my part. You can decide if it's a wise investment on your part, but I'm going to keep after it. I'm not going to let 2 days. I'm not going to give up, and it's life. It's your life. You're giving up 25% of your year, but you're giving up 25% of your life. Like, I'm not going to give up 25% of my life for 2 days. Like, that's not a good trade to me. I'm not going to give that up. So maybe I'm doing it wrong. I'm sure since a lot of people do it a different way, that I probably am wrong. Since everybody else is doing it differently, they must be right and I must be wrong. But that's just how I feel about it. And that's just how I approach it. And, I guess what the truth is, like, I don't like getting my ass kicked. I don't like getting my ass kicked, whether it's by myself or by these expectations that I don't meet or by my competition or whatever the case is. I don't like losing. I don't like getting my ass kicked. So I don't take 3 months a year off for 2 days. So anyway, that's how I feel about it. Get after it. Don't wait till January 1st. I appreciate you guys. I love you guys. You're awesome. Take care of each other, and we'll talk to you soon. I love you. Bye.